Not every decision that you make has to be rooted on that. Sometimes you just have to add value to people's lives.
Yes, true. Madali lang maging masamang salbahing tao. But it takes times 10 the effort to be a good one.
Yeah. When you're growing up, it's not a competition with other people. It's really just trying to be a better person than you were before.
The meaning of success used to be for me, hustle, hustle, hustle. Now, no. Rest is my definition of success.
Yeah.
If you have the time to rest, you are successful.
Yung priorities mo are all in check. Then, if so, you can enjoy the fruit of your labor. That's not a bad thing. But before we get into that, if you're watching on Spotify, go ahead and follow the show and drop a rating. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're on Facebook, make sure to follow my page, Joyce Pring, for updates and extra content. All right, let's get into it. What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. I feel like I'm in a time capsule of some sort because one of my most tagged episodes, one of the oldest episodes that I had on the podcast was with this inspiring woman. When she was, I think that was your first guesting on a podcast. She was busy building her business. She was doing all of these different things in her life. And now she is officially back in the Philippines for a visit. And she made time to be on the podcast. Please welcome once again, Miss Angely Dub.
Hi, everyone.
What?
Kunwari
You're-
prim and proper. Siyempre, baka sabihin walang character development. Hi, thank you so much. Siyempre, kailangan din natin makalimutan yung pinaggalingan natin. Nakabihis lang ako ngayon na magaganda, pero I'm still the same Angely. Feeling ko nga minsan naging worse pa eh. Parang, lalo naging loka-loka.
That episode was 2018. Can you believe it?
Girl, hanggang ngayon tinatag ako ng mga tao. Sabi ko, oh my God, bakit ganito yung hair ko? Bakit ako nagpunta sa isang interview na naka-skirt? Bakit ito ginawa ko? Ano iniisip ko nun?
Sorry, 2019, tama ba? Oo, yung 2020 pala, yung first episode na yan. At 5 years ago, so
Di
many...
ba mas maaga pa?
Parang 2019 yun.
Mas
2019.
earlier pa.
No, I know na. It's 2020 of March. Because remember, we had that conversation na,
That was
"Oy,
online.
No. We were in the studio and then people were saying, magkakaroon daw ng lockdown. Parang they're gonna close down and everything.
Yun?
Yes, it was. Parang
Okay,
5 days before the lockdown.
You short hair ako?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So many things has happened since then. You moved to Spain, you got your master's, you built multiple businesses. How are you, girl? You look
Ayun.
beautiful.
Siyempre, ano yan, given na yun. Fact, I'm okay. I've survived a lot of things. And I'm proud of it. And I'm actually happy that I went through that. It really shaped me. It really parang helped me become who I am today.
Mhm.
So parang pag nangyayari yung mga things na yon sa life mo, di mo naiintindihan, parang galit ka. Lahat naramdaman ko galit, inis, iyak, lungkot, grief, lahat na pwede yung isipin emotions. Tapos parang pag na-survive mo na, kailangan pala pagdaanan mo yun.
Yeah.
Na-realize ko, nung sinabi ko sa'yo kanina, when you give pala some things kay God, medyo gumagaan buhay mo. Sana natutunan ko siya earlier in my life. Na parang di pala ako nag-iisa. Bakit ba dala-dala ko lahat ng gamit sa backpack ko? Pwede ko naman pala ilabas
Bigat-bigat.
konti.
Oo. Yeah, I feel like that's such a beautiful perspective. Kasi lahat naman tayo ganun, di ba? Parang to a certain extent, especially people who are very hardworking, yung mga mahilig mag-hustle, kaya ko to, gagawan ko ng paraan, we tend to do things on our own because we think that's the only way to go about things. And I think that's how I found my relationship with God to begin with. Kasi parang ang bigat-bigat nung pinagdadaanan ko. There's too much. I am carrying too much. I'm working too much. I have too many things on my plate and I couldn't carry it anymore. So I'm glad to hear that. But syempre, nag-umpisa yan, I would say, when you moved to a different country.
Yes. Parang
So, how has life changed? Ano nangyari?
God-wise or everything?
Everything. Tell us everything.
So, wait. Ang time capsule nga. Teka, babalikan ko lahat na nangyari. So, I moved to Spain. Wait, pandemic na lang. Pandemic was very hard. Imagine my business was my whole life. Tapos overnight, pwede pala yun kunin sa'yo.
Yeah.
Tapos doon talaga na-test yung skills ko. Na parang, okay, Angely Dub, people say you're amazing, your mom say you're great, but are you really great? Can you survive this? Parang yun ata yung first time in my life na question ko yung sarili ko. Normally kasi, jolly person naman ako. Tsaka parang mabilis mag-ano yung emotion ko. Parang inis ngayon, wala na after. Parang ganon. So that was the time, first time ko na-experience, kinwestiyon ko yung buong existence ko. I was like, never ko naintindihan yung mga tao na nagsasabi sa akin, I don't know what to do. Kasi spontaneous akong tao eh. Talon lang ako ng talon, bahala na.
Yeah.
I just parang surf. Alam niyo yun, parang with the waves of life. Nung time ng COVID, saan ka magsasurf? There was no life. Life stopped.
Yeah.
So parang,
Especially with your line of work.
yes.
Yeah.
Eh, wala akong ibang alam gawin.
Mm.
So, ang dami na buo. Somebody asked me na parang, gusto mo ba mag-podcast? Nag-guess ako. So, doon pumasok yung, kung sino talaga ako na very spontaneous. I said yes to everything. Kasi yun na lang yung way nakita ko. Sabi ko, Angely, what's the point of questioning yourself if yung core na pagkatao mo nakakalimutan mo? You are that person. Yes, 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 yes. Some opportunities. So, lahat ni yes ko na feeling ko nag-align naman sa values ko. Normally kasi, you can be both din pala.
Yeah.
Ang dami kong nang ginawa no sa buhay ko. So, nung COVID, bumalik ako sa kung saan ako nag-start. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Parang when I was driving coming here, sabi ko, Angely, hindi ka pa rin nagbabago. You're the same person. Kahit wala ako mapapala sa anything, I don't think of that.
Yeah.
I just execute. Because apparently, hindi mo alam sino pala yung nakakakita sa'yo, showing up, being consistent, doing things. My whole life has been like that. I just showed up. Bala na.
Yeah. And you know, yun yung nakikita ko sa mga taong truly content and successful in their lives. They're not directed by this ideology of ano bang makukuha ko dito?
Yes.
Or paano ba ako kikita dito? Ikayayaman ko ba to? Ikakaganda ko ba to? Whatever. It's adding value to others and then figuring out along the way, okay, I'm adding value to this person. I'm just gonna do this. You know, I'm just gonna say yes. And maybe I can learn something from it. I'll make a good connection if anything. And that's the kind of character that a lot of young people sometimes miss out on today. Kasi iniisip nila palagi, hindi kailangan ko pag-isipan, paano ba ako yayaman? Paano ko ba i-build yung business ko? Which of course, you have to think about those things. But not every decision that you make has to be rooted on that. Sometimes you just have to add value to people's lives.
Yes, true. Tsaka there's one thing na natutunan ko in life, sobrang madali lang maging masamang salbahing tao. But it takes times 10 the effort to be a good one. But I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying I put effort into being a good person. Kasi life is not just about money and business eh. There are so many aspects of life na minsan nakakalimutan natin. So you ask me, kamusta ako? I've learned to live my life outside my business.
Wow.
My business is no longer my whole life.
Talaga
Yes,
ba?
today, hindi ko pa hinawakan ang laptop ko. Nandun lang siya.
Wow naman.
Di ba? Because I've realized, my 20s, my whole life, takbo ako ng takbo sa business, sa work. I love my work. Baka ma-misinterpret ng mga tao. But life comes in seasons. My 30s, gusto ko naman ma-enjoy maging tao. Na ayoko magtrabaho today, it's okay, I'm gonna do something else. Yun yung natutunan ko sa Spain. When I moved to Spain, parang na-shock ako bigla. Kasi dito sa atin, hustle culture, lahat kailangan magtrabaho because ganun naman talaga lahat. And siguro ganun dapat pag andito tayo kasi yun yung kinalakihan natin. When I moved to Spain, Joyce, people don't work ng weekends.
Wow.
Nagulat talaga ako and they question me. Syempre yung people nasa environment ko, bakit kami dalang laptop ng weekend? And there are some places, nakalagay talaga no laptop on weekends. This space is no laptops.
Oh, wow.
This space is for people, ganyan. Tapos dun lang. So, mag-adjust ka. So, nag-adjust ako. Sabi ko, it's never too late to change something. Syempre, character development nga, kailangan, kung nasan tayo, nag-a-adapt tayo doon.
Yeah.
So, yun natutunan ko. Ngayon, I do things, kahit wala naman ako mapapala. Diba?
Yeah, but I think that also comes, that is a privilege that you afforded yourself. Because you cannot have that unless you work hard and smart first and foremost. Kasi that's a privilege that you have to afford for yourself na I can do that now in your I also do that now in my 30s. I pick and choose the jobs that I want to do because I worked my butt off in my 20s. I put my head down. I did everything that I had to do. I said yes to every opportunity. You know, kahit na 3 events pa yan per day, ilang trabaho pa yan, gagawin ko yan because I wanted to build a life for myself where my time was mine. And I think that's such an important thing to talk about, diba? You move to Spain, you're learning so many different cultures in your life, but you travel as your life, Angeli. Napapagod ka ba mag-travel at all?
Ay, isa pa yan nagbago about me. Hindi na ako siya nagka-travel.
Talaga?
I fell in love with my life in Spain. Na sobrang na-in-love ako. I'm actually slowly parang nasa process ako na gusto ko na siya alisin sa
Yeah.
pagkatao ko. And that is okay. I grieved a lot
Mhm.
because yun ako my whole life eh. Then I talked to a lot of people. Ganun daw talaga ang buhay. Even who you are won't stay with you.
You know, it's funny that you talk about grief and you're a part of yourself not staying who you are. Because I was talking to a girlfriend of mine about this and dati kasi girl boss ang life ko, 'di ba? Parang
Atake mo.
talagang atake natin girl boss talaga. As in, work 24/7. I am an intense workaholic. When I was in my 20s, that was me. And then when I had children, I tried to be the same kind of person. Na talagang I was working as much as I wanted to. My schedule was revolving around me, not my son at that time. And then I just felt so miserable. And then I realized it was because I was forcing old rhythms into a new season. Nung na-realize ko yon, I had to grieve the fact that I'm no longer the same person. That I didn't want the same things anymore. That I couldn't do the same things anymore. That I had different priorities and that I had a different season in my life. So I also had to evolve. And I think that's one of the most important things that you have to learn about when you're growing up. It's accepting the fact na kailangan mong i-grieve yung mga part na yun ng sarili mo. And then kind of just move on and explore this new person that you're becoming. So what have you been learning in this new season of your life that you're in right now?
Okay, so I moved to Spain because I was really in love with this man. He was the love of my life.
Mhm.
Tapos yung pala na-realize ko, my old version said he was the love of my life.
Mhm.
But people leave. It's part of everything. I did not end up with him. Actually,
Yeah.
last night, I was driving with my mom. Sabi ko, Ma, I did not end up with this guy. So I don't know what Spain has for me. Because I thought yun eh. I was gonna end up with him. I was gonna have a family and everything. That did not happen. Actually, nag-try kami mag-reconnect this year. Wala na, iba na ako eh. He was still doing the same things na ayoko nga ginagawa niya eh.
Yeah.
I realized, wala, nagbago na talaga ako. I am a completely new person. And nag-grieve ako niyan last year, October. A year ago.
Mhm.
I woke up, I was super, super, super sad. And normally wala yun sa personality ko.
Mhm.
Because even I am sad, I can find something to be happy.
Yeah, you're a ball of energy.
Oh yes, I'm just like, whatever. Ay,
Mhm.
punta ka dito. Makita ko lang yung mga dogs, masaya na ako. That time, last year, October yun, a year ago, I was so sad, Joyce. I booked a trip to Croatia. Alam mo gaano ako kasad? I was sitting in a coffee shop in the morning after my run. May mga Filipinos na umupo sa tabi ko. Kinausap lang nila ako, umiyak ako sa kanila.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm just so sad. I don't know why.
Oh.
So they were like, oh, it's okay. Nagulat sila. They were like, we thought you were British. I was like, I'm not British. I can speak Filipino. You sit down with me. Tapos, it was so good na parang, I can be just a human being.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun, kahit sa Europe kasi yun yung nakuha ko. Dito kasi laging parang tense ako dati. Alam mo yan, parang, yung ibang tao kasi di nila naiintindihan yan eh. They will say, oh, swerte mo nga, may followers ka, ganyan. It has nothing to do with that. Just because you have social media presence, it doesn't mean you don't have emotions.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean wala kang nararamdaman, puro work and life is just about followers, likes.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, that means nothing.
Yeah.
Wala lang yun. At some point, parang ma-realize mo, those things are nothing.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang, for us nga, it's just work.
Yeah.
Diba? Wala siya kinalaman sa validation natin. So, now, masasabi ko lang is parang everything that happened in my life, even yung sadness na na-feel ko last year, yun na pala yung grieving ko na I was letting go na of everything. Who I've been my whole life in the Philippines, kung sino naging ako pagdating ko sa Spain. Maniniwala ka ba? Parang ngayon, sa new people, I find myself being an introvert.
Wow.
Gusto ko na umuwi after. Like, after nito, I'm gonna shut myself na. Parang shut down na ako. I'm just gonna be in Madrid. If I have work trip, punta lang ako doon. Sa sobra naging ganun ako, I don't even lead tours anymore sa Access. I just learned na sa new life ko, ganun na pala ako. I just want katahimikan. Parang I can have a conversation with old people, yes. I connect so fast. Pero pag yung mga bago, parang after pagod na ako. Parang ganun.
Where do you think that came from?
Language barrier in Spain. That triggered.
Okay, that's what started it.
Yes.
Pero you started learning, di ba?
Yes.
Okay.
Ngayon okay na. Pero that language barrier triggered something in me. Ang sarap pala ng tahimik. Uwi ka lang, bahay ka lang. Tapos,
observing the world around you.
So I became like that. So parang bumabalik yung luma kong personality pag nandito na ako sa Philippines. Kasi parang may memory recall ka eh. Parang bumabalik yung personality mo. Tapos pagbalik ko sa Spain, ganun na ako ulit. I enjoy both. So doon kasi parang nakuha ko yung feeling for the first time. Siyempre may kami mga side comments dyan. Di ka naman sikat. Yes, I know. But it's not just about being famous or relevant. I have a business eh.
Yeah.
So I'm required everywhere. It's not even about social media kasi di naman ako sobra-sobra mag-post. Like, work lang. Minsan lang yung additional na stuff. It's more of yung lagi kang kailangan everywhere.
Yeah.
Nakakapagod. Kailangan ako ng mama ko, ng mga kapatid ko, ng employees ko, ng clients ko, ni ganito, ni ganyan. So parang sabi ko, bakit parang dito? Parang hindi ako kailangan anywhere. Wala nakatingin sa akin. I'm just me.
Yeah.
And people don't ask, what do you do for a living? Do you have a husband? What's your religion? What's your political view? Wala. They just know
That's
me.
a no-no in Europe though,
Yes.
right? Like it's not something that people talk about. And it's so funny because when I traveled, that was the only time that I realized it. Na Filipinos lang yung ganun makipag-usap na anong trabaho mo?
Yes, doon tao ka lang.
Oo, doon
The
tao ka
first
lang.
thing people ask you when you enter the cafe, hola, ¿qué tal? Hi, how are you? So yun pala, tinatanong ka ng ganun, you feel seen.
Yeah.
Hindi parang, what's your order? Not everyone is like that here.
Yeah.
Pero, nung naka-experience lang ako ng ibang mundo, kasi syempre pag tourist ka, di mo napapansin kasi excited ka eh. Pero nakatira na ako doon, Joyce. Kahit yung 3 kanto away from my house, lahat na tao sa street pagkagising mo, buenos dias. Part ka ng something. Hindi lahat na tao naka-phone lang.
Yeah.
Nag-uusap yung tao.
Yeah.
Kahit nasa elevator sa building mo, babatiin mo. Pagpasok ng building, babatiin mo. So, nabigla yung buong mundo ko sa ganon. Kasi before, I was just a tourist. Now, I really live somewhere and na-adapt ko yung culture nila. Naging ganon na din ako ito ngayon tuloy. Pag may elevator, sabi ko, hindi pa. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
May memory recall ka kasi.
Yeah.
So, those are the things na nagbago, maliliit na mga bagay. Siyempre, nag-build up na siya. I'm really proud of who I am today.
I'm so glad, and that's the one thing that you want, right?
Yeah.
When you're growing up, it's not the competition with other people. It's really just trying to be a better person than you were before. It's really figuring out, okay, who am I now? What do I value? What is my goal? What are my priorities? And I think if you have those things in check, it's easier to move around in the world. I remember when I studied in the UK a few years ago, yun din yung culture shock sa akin. Everybody sat down on the table. I remember this the first time. I sat down with some of my classmates and nobody was using their phones. Nope. As in, and some of my classmates didn't have social media, didn't have a Facebook, didn't have an Instagram. Nobody asked for that. Everybody was just talking about, recent
Things,
news,
life,
music that they're listening to, a book that they're reading. And then that's when I realized, ganun pala dapat. Dapat pala, you bring conversation to the table. Yes. You bring yourself to the table. You improve yourself so much so that when you go into a table, you're actually growing with people and getting to know people more. I want to ask you, because when I met you, and ever since I met you, I feel like you've embodied the phrase that you have and the title of your podcast, which is Life in Progress. What does that look like to you right now? What are some, I guess, definitions of success na nilet go mo na? What are some differences in your values right now? What are the things that
Maiyak ako.
gusto natin yan? Yan ang gagawin ko.
May lakad pa ako, kaya maganda ako doon. Charot.
Maganda ka pa rin kahit iiyak mo yung makeup mo, Angely. Every girl has a dream. To go to school, to be heard, to grow up free from fear. But for many Filipino girls, these dreams are out of reach. They face the harsh realities of early marriage, dropping out of school, and being silenced by poverty and inequality. But it doesn't have to stay this way. With your support, a girl can find her voice and speak up. She can learn, she can lead and rise, strong and fearless. She can say no to the things that hold her back and yes to the life that she truly deserves. We ask you to please join the movement to raise your voice for a girl and walk alongside her on her journey to empowerment. Sponsor a girl by October 11, International Day of the Girl, and be the reason she says, yes, I can, because girls can. Visit worldvision.org.ph to learn more.
So let's start with my podcast, Life in Progress. That was just an experiment. Someone asked me, do you want to have a podcast? Sabi ko, sige, wala man akong ginagawa. For me, kasi parang my life is like a tree. Minsan, fall season, naglalagas lahat ng leaves. Winter, wala, sad. Then, darating yung spring. Then, summer, it's all shiny.
Mm-hmm.
And I've accepted that. I don't want to be a perfect human being. That's boring. I want to make mistakes. I want to have struggles. I want to have problems because that's a life worth remembering.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have a life na everything is provided na. Parang ano yung kwento ko sa mga anak ko?
Mm-hmm.
O na pinagdaanan si mama. Like now, I have this playlist sa TikTok ko, Stories for My Kids.
Aww.
That's when I realized na I want to have someone who will listen to all the stories. Imagine having a mom who've traveled. Well, siguro pag dumating siya, tapos na ako sa buong mundo. Imagine having a mom that you can brag sa school. My mom has been there. That's a legacy na my kids will be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Parang, ang sarap niya imana.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, hindi ko yun naisip. When I was in my 20s. Tapos na-realize ko, masarap magkaroon ng mini-me. Yun yung na-realize ko. Then, I started to create stories meaningful na. Hindi na yung basta-basta lang. So, that's what changed about me. And one thing is, the meaning of success used to be for me, hustle, 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 productive, ganyan. Now, no. Rest is my definition of success.
Yeah.
If you have the time to rest, you are successful.
Amen. That's true.
And if you have the time, every day nag-work out ako 2 to 3 hours, that's success for me because people can't even walk. It's okay. Nawala na siya. Paano umiyak ka maarte?
Ganun lang. Dab lang.
Tam lang. So yun, parang, yun yung nagbago sa akin. Hindi ko na tinatry gawin 10 things sa isang araw. I wanna do 3 things. Parang today, eto, yung Ortigas and yung Soler, 3 things lang. Pero I wanna be there. Completely, fully, and even malate ako konti, ganyan. Yung parang okay lang. Hindi yun na parang na-late ka sa isa, lahat maapektuhan.
Yeah.
Yung parang kahit maaga ka sa isa, malate ka sa isa, naglalagay na ako ng mga time gaps in between to rest, to have coffee, ganyan. Because rest is now success.
Yeah.
For me, material things, parang, siguro kasi nakuha ko na. I'm not gonna discredit naman because galing ako sa wala. I didn't have anything before.
But you know, that's every successful person I know who came from nothing and got something always say, sige, kunin mo. That's not gonna give you satisfaction.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I hear people say things about me. Dati di ka naman nakabutega, di ka naman naka-Zimmerman. Parang ako, girl, dati, hindi ko rin kaya bilhin. Hindi ako nangutang para bilhin. Ngayon, kaya ko na bilhin yung buong collection and bibilin ko because I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to wear these things because di ko yan nabili dati. I love to wear Zimmerman. Lahat collection binibili ko. Why? There's a story. Hindi yan naisip ko lang. I used to travel to Australia. Hindi ko siya afford. Dinadaanan ko lang yung store. Sabi ko, di ko kaya bilhin. Why would I buy a shirt na ganyan kamahal? Sabi ko, papasasweldo ko na lang. Then the day came, my time is here, and now I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm never gonna feel guilty about that. Because pinaghirapan ko yun. Diba? Parang, some people sabi, bakit ka na magsusuot na ganyan kamahal? Because I want to. I'm not doing it for other people. Gusto ko gawin ko na siya ngayon. Yung para pag dumating yung time ko magkaanak ako, wala na akong attachment sa mga ganyan.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many people and I've learned my lesson from them. These are closest people to me. Na-realize nila yung ganun, yung may mga anak na sila. Na ba't di ko in-enjoy yung pera? Sana pala in-enjoy ko na ako lang.
Yeah.
So, they gave me their lessons na, Angely, habang wala ka pa, enjoyin mo na lahat. Lahat hanggang kaya mo. So, pag dumating yung time mo, mom ka na, you just enjoy being a mom. Di mahahati yung pagkatao mo na hindi mo na let go.
Biblical din yun Enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Talaga?
Because ako kasi, opposite ako before. Parang dinidemonize ko. Dahil nga, I came from nothing. I was one of those people na dapat hindi ka bumibili ng ganyan. It's too expensive. And then, my stepdad, he told me, it's biblical to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Because you worked hard for it, diba? So, how do you handle your money in a God-honoring way? Syempre, dapat yung wala kang utang, di ba? Nakatulong ka naman sa tao, may na-savings ka naman. Yung priorities mo are all in check. Then, if so, you can enjoy the fruit of your labor. That's not a bad thing. So, I think that's really important. Then, you're right. When you become a mom, iba na yung priorities mo
So, ayoko mag-clash yung mga naiwan ko. Kaya Joyce ngayon, ginagawa ko na lahat. Kasi ready na ako parang papunta na ako sa way na yon. Yun yung isang bagay sa buhay ko na gusto ko paghandaan. Emotionally, physically, mentally, lahat ng may LLY. Gusto ko paghandaan.
Kailan mo na-realize that you wanted to be a mom? Can I ask that personal question?
Yes, you can ask me. So parang, I went on, nag-reunite kami ng ex-boyfriend ko, my ex-love of my life. So ngayon, wala na akong love of my life. Kasi kala ko siya pero I fired him. Finare ko na siya. So, ngayon, iba na. So, nag-reunite kami this year. Wala na, nahimik ako sa isang tabi, bigla siya pumasok sa buhay ko. And ako naman, si try lang ng try. Sabi ko, sige, wala mo problema. But, he did the same things na ginagawa niya, na ayoko na nga. Ayoko. I went on a long trip, birthday trip. I did New York, Arizona, Las Vegas, Mexico mag-isa. Lahat Tulum, ginawa ko. So, last segment of the trip was Easter Island. Easter Island is my favorite place. Pauwi na ako ng Madrid. Everything felt so quiet, kahit sobrang daming tao. Normally, kahit saan mo ko ilagay, kaya ko mag-adjust. Kaya ko maghanap ng anything na magiging happy ako. Ever since kahit nung baby ako yung favorite ni mama nung baby ako. Kasi ilagay niya ako dyan, magkakutkot ko ako ng something, nakakalimutan niya, di niya pala ako pinakain buong araw. So, I still am like that. Everything was so quiet. The plane, the airports, hanggang sa pag-uwi ko ng bahay, bit-bit ko yung 3 bag ko, inakyat ko sa apartment ko. Sabi ko, bakit ang quiet? Sobrang quiet ng apartment ko. Naririnig ko yung mga birds naglalakad. Naririnig ko yung ganun-ganun nila. Doon ko na-realize, I don't want this when I'm a little bit older. Sabi ko, ano gagawin mo sa sobrang maganda ka, sexy ka, may pera ka, all these things, superficial things. Na na-attach din naman ako. Syempre, di naman ako perfect. Yung career success, greed na yun
Yeah.
What, for me, na-realize ko, na-experience ko na lahat. Maybe I think the reason why I feel so quiet lahat is I'm ready for my next stage. Kasi naturally talaga may instinct tayo
Yeah.
Feeling ko, dun yung first time ko siya na-feel. Sabi ko, when my mom comes home, up to this day, na magka-35 na ako, saan pa salubong ko? Kahit puto bumbum lang dala niya kasi pumunta lang siya ng 13 from our house, saan bibingka ko? Tapos pag wala, parang may maliit na tampo ka kasi lumaki kang ganon.
I can already see my daughter who goes, pasalubong, mama.
Diba? Kahit banana man lang bitbit niyan. Alam mo, kahit coconut water lang, naman. Kainis naman, you forgot me?
Yeah.
Yung ganon. Sabi ko, if I don't have kids, ganito pala uuwian ko every time lalabas ako. I don't want that. I called my doctor, I want to freeze my eggs.
Oh.
Tapos sabi niya, okay, I'll prepare you. So talaga nag-take ako ng time to prepare myself for my egg freezing, talagang diet, exercise, ino-A ko.
Yeah.
Kasi nga, as I've said earlier, gusto ko i-prepare yung next stage ng life ko because this stage na I'm enjoying right now, when I had access, I was not prepared for it because nobody gave me a guidebook.
Yeah.
Diba? I'm so grateful to my parents. Hindi naman kami galing sa walang-wala. They were responsible parents.
Yeah.
They provided me sa responsibilities na dapat nila i-provide sa akin and I will be forever grateful for that. Never ko i-discredit yon sa parents ko. But I built my life myself. I don't know what you call it, self-made, whatever you want to call it, pero hindi ako pinabayaan ng magulang ko kasi responsibilidad nila ako eh.
Yeah.
Kasi some people, they only credit na self-made ka kapag wala kang magulang. Pero why do we have to remove our parents from the picture?
This is why I love you because you're a level-headed person.
Yes.
There's no such thing as
My
a
mom
self-made
is
person.
part of my journey up to this day. Sa lahat na interview ko, minimension ko siya. How can I just remove my mom and tell the world I'm self-made? My mom gave me education, home, shelter, food when my father died, everything.
Yeah.
My mom is part of the formula.
Yes.
Till my last breath, kasama siya sa formula. Diba? So, that's why, sinabi ko rin to kay mama, you were not prepared when you gave birth to me because you married so young. But I'm gonna make sure I will be prepared for the next stage of my life. That's why I also went to therapy. I've been going for 3 years. Emotionally prepared na.
Yeah.
And mentally. Because ayoko ipasa yung mga triggers ko na parang kairata naman to, kainis naman to. We think those are small things. Those are not small things. We will pass that day.
Yeah.
Diba? Some people ask me after egg freezing ko, gusto mo ba mag-anak mag-isa? I was like, no. Doon na nga ako nang galing eh. My father died. Tapos ipapasa ko na naman.
Yeah.
So ano yung difference? So, I personally believe, iba-iba tayo ng belief. Yung family sa isang child, si father may sariling gagawin, si mommy may sariling gagawin.
Yeah.
Pag wala kang choice to be a single mom, gagawin mo yun both. But if I have the choice to have a dad, why would I choose to pass on what I already experienced that I never wanted to experience mawala yung dad ko?
It's so important, the role of fathers.
Yes.
Yeah.
We cannot just say, oh, feminism, whatsoever, I can have my own child. Yes, you can. Absolutely. That's your personal choice. But that's not applicable to me.
Yeah.
I want a father for my kids. Because iba yung role niya, iba yung role ko. May nabasa ako, I'm not sure if this is proven, nabasa ko lang to. Yung father daw magpa-provide sa'yo ng identity eh. Like, sino ka, imo-mold niya. Yung mom daw, ina-nurture niya yung identity na yon because yun daw yung part. Though, hindi ko na napagpatuloy yung, kasi wala pa naman ako, naksa ako nababasahin.
No, but that's true data. So there's data that shows that children who have no father figure growing up are more likely to end up in prison, are less likely to finish college, are more likely to get into trouble because having a strong father figure is really important in their lives. And I think that's such a valuable insight. You know, there are certain people who don't have that choice. But you're right eh. If you have that choice, why will you rob your child of that opportunity and privilege to grow up with a father? And that's so important. And I think that's why ang pinag-uusapan namin palagi ni Juancho is taking care of our marriage, loving each other, taking care of each other so that our children can benefit from a healthy marriage. Because at the end of the day, that's really what you want, right? Angely, grabe yung character development natin
Thanks to my therapist, Anna. Ang mahal na sinisingle mo sa akin. Charan.
Emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual growth.
Yes.
All in a span.
Spiritual ang bagal. Pero kaya ko. Sabi ko, parang may therapy din yun. Sabi ko, saan matatawagan si God?
O hindi, pero I'm so blessed to hear all of that. I feel like we could go on for 6 more hours.
Tapos na ba? Sad naman. Charan.
Pero meron pa akong dito. Fast facts. The first principle or idea that comes to your mind when I say these words.
Okay. Oh.
Okay ba yan?
Oh, lakas mga Jay Shetty. I love that.
Okay. First, travel.
Education.
Purpose.
Evolves.
Family.
Everything.
Love.
Changes.
Aw, money.
It shows who, just word?
No, it doesn't
No.
have to be just the word.
Oh, then I'm gonna change all my answers.
Sige.
I think money shows who you really are once you have it. Once you get to touch it.
Chinky Tan said the same thing here on the podcast. He says, money doesn't change people, it
No,
reveals them.
it shows who you are.
Mm.
That's what I've said earlier. Sobrang dali lang maging masamang tao.
Mhm.
Pero yung meron kang lahat, pipiliin mo maging good kahit nakakairita, nakakainis. Joyce, that's the most thing. You have to be patient sa sarili mo kasi it really shows. Kasi unang banat ng mga tao sa inyo nan, may pera ka na kasi. Diba?
Ganda
So
nun.
that's why parang sa family ko or sa friends ko, you treat me how I was when I was just starting.
Yeah.
You don't treat me who I am today.
Yeah.
Kaya minsan nararamdaman ko yung mama ko parang, ano yung regalo namin sa'yo? Sabi ko, yun yung regalo mo sa akin lagi. Leche flan, bibingka. Paano ba may regalo mo sa akin? Diba? So I don't want people to treat me differently just because, well, I consider myself I made it based on my definition.
Mhm.
I actually get hurt when people treat me differently.
Mm.
Kasi parang,
Ako to eh.
this is me. If
Yeah.
I don't look at myself like that, why other people are looking at me like that? Like yung kinu-question sa sarili ko. But, naiintindihan ko rin naman, iba-iba kasi tayo ng level ng understanding.
I think it's also a defense mechanism for a lot of people who have experienced how people change
Yes.
or reveal themselves when they have money. Then all of a sudden, they act more important, they demand more things. It's a different kind of person already. But I think that's what makes you special, in my opinion. You know, you know who you are. You're grounded in your values. So money doesn't really change anything. It just reveals that.
And I just want to add, like, when people call me, influencer, sabi ko, hindi po, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because that's how I started, and I want to keep it that way. I never want to change, like, saan ako nag-start?
You're just an influential entrepreneur.
Diba? I'm just an entrepreneur. I
Yeah.
don't want to be called anything else. I mean, with all due respect to all the influencers.
Mhm.
Parang, yeah, I just like who I am. And gusto ko lang mag-evolve from there. The world always tells you, be like this, be like that. I've accepted myself na. Everything. That's why parang, when you accept yourself na kasi completely, nobody can use it against you.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, finally.
Hoy, meron pa final.
Progress.
Progress, you are allowed to change. And please change. Dapat lang tayo magbago. Kaya mga tao
Please
nagsasabi,
change.
dati naka-backpack ka lang, ngayon naka-botega ka na, ay dapat lang. Paano makipagkita sa kliyente kung naka-backpack? Paano ko respetuhin yan, di ba?
Uy, naalala ko, nag-shoot tayo,
Na-
naka-backpack ka nga.
See,
no?
right? Pero look at my, naka-diamonds na si girl. Di ba? And I enjoy it. I've seen myself from this to this to this. When you see all of your versions, ilatag mo, Joyce, I'm so proud.
So, Angely, now, with everything stripped, you're traveling, your life here in Manila, maybe even your businesses and your work, who are you? What is this season of Angely now?
Right now, I think everything I've done in my life, ako naman yung nag-e-enjoy.
Mhm.
Bumabalik sa akin. I mean, I've always said this, di ako perfect and I'll never be and I don't wanna be. Pero I wanna continue to learn. The world is so big. There's one thing I've listened to parang 2 days ago. Sabi nung guy, it's always the uneducated people who think they know it all.
Mhm.
But if you are an educated person, you'll always be a curious person.
Mhm.
And it has nothing to do with school,
Yeah.
when we say educated and educated. It's just, you look at the world like a school.
Mhm.
Parang open university. I learn from you. I learn from this person. Parang every person, you learn something.
Yeah.
That's who I am right now. Everything na ginawa ko for my whole life, basically, bumabalik na siya sa akin ngayon. Like, napapa-under ko na yung office ko na wala ako. My clients don't look for me anymore.
Iba
Diba?
na.
Diba? For me, I wanna enjoy that. I wanna enjoy lahat ng bags ko, every watch I can buy, every Max Mara suit I can buy. I wanna enjoy. I don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
And sinabi ko din to sa mga kapatid ko. Sabi ko, I'm so sorry if you did not get what you wanted in life. Ibig sabihin, probably nagkulang din kayo kasi pare-parehas tayo ng binigyan lahat. Kayo nga, more than pa nakuha nyo eh. Ako kasi nag-absorb nung shock nung namatay yung dad ko. I had the list among us all.
Yeah.
Kasi nung sila yung nag-aaral, tumutulong na rin ako somehow sa mga gamit nila. O, bili this, gift that. So, some of my brother and sisters, di naman sila ganyan. Pero you just have to remind, baka kasi may isip nila, si ate ganito, si ate lagi naka first class, saka business class. Sinabi ko sa kanila, you are not my responsibility. We gave you way more than na nakuha ko.
And that's love.
And that's love. You have to learn life on your own kahit kasing bagal kayo ng turtle. I'm not gonna give you anything. Kasi ibang kapatid ko, ang tagal ng progress. Buti na lang, I'm in a family na sobrang loved ako.
Yeah.
We love each other. Hindi kami insecure sa isa't isa. Di kami nagsiselos, wala. But as the eldest child, I have to remind my siblings, I am here because dinoble down ko yung work ko. So, okay naman. So, I want to enjoy that.
And you know what, Angely? The reason why I adore you is because you are the perfect balance of crazy and level-headed.
Yes.
And that's really what you want in life. Crazy enough to dream big dreams, crazy enough to move to a different country, to try new things, to meet new people, but level-headed enough to know what really matters in life. And I think that's really inspiring.
Parang I've said sa interview ko kanina, aanin mo naman ng travel. Parang people ask me to talk about travel. Sabi ko, yes, traveling is good, but there's also a thing called life. You cannot just keep on rewarding yourself. Ano babalikan mo pag uwi? Wala kang pera, wala kang trabaho. Diba?
Yeah.
Travel is a reward. We live in reality.
Yeah.
Ako nag-travel ako because it's my job. But it's not everyone's reality. You cannot just tell people travel, inspire, see the world.
Yeah.
We have to create systems, financial stability, diba? So sinabi ko yun, sasabihin ko ulit, life is more enjoyable when we are responsible.
Yeah. Daming words of wisdom. 2 hours pa. Thank you, Angely, for being on the
Thank you
podcast.
so much.
For making time, for always being humble and always being confident at the
I
same
try
time.
to be. Last learning
Okay,
na lang.
last learning.
My client once told me, the same confidence you used to build your business will be misinterpreted by people as arrogance. And that's okay. You never let that come close to you. That insight. Kasi normal eh. Kasi iba-iba interpretation ng mga tao eh.
Lalo na sa culture ng Philippines, I feel like.
Yes.
It's a cultural thing.
Because it's a sin to love your life, to be confident about your journey, and to believe in your timeline.
Or to just be
For a lot.
straightforward.
Yes, it's a sin. I'm like, ano ba gusto nyo? Pag di ko gusto yung bagay, i-email ko pa. To whom it may concern. I don't like, and I don't have time. I'm sorry. I'd rather spend the time with my mother. Diba? Ang daming kwento. Diyos ko.
Angely, thank you for being on
Thank
the podcast.
you very much. It was a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to sit down and catch up with you. You're inspiring, you're beautiful, and I can't
crazy.
wait. And crazy, but crazy good at what you
Yes.
do and who you are. And I pray for the best for you. Can't wait to have you on the podcast again. Let's not wait for 5 years.
No. Amen, amen. I'll pray for you too. Pag naalala ko.
See you guys in the next episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring.
Bye.